Hi, good morning.
Hi.
My bike clothes are missing me right now.
Oh.
Like, where'd he go? What's going on? Yeah, I know. It's cold out here. That's why we have seasons in this part of the world.
Oh.
I know, that sucks. You need to come
Ew.
out here for bike season for the winter with
know.
Mama. It's today's bike day.
I would love that. I would love that so much. I'll get on my bike now,
And then-
I'll be there in a few weeks.
Because Wednesdays, when you're on, is outdoor bike day any day. So we will just bike and discuss the people. Remember that thing when you said, and that was really funny. And then remember I said the thing, and then that'll be our whole bike ride. Yeah. Okay.
Yep, definitely. Yeah. And then we'll tell stories about the bike ride. Well, the next bike ride, we'll tell stories about the previous bike ride. Yeah.
Nerds, bike nerds. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, by the way, and thank you to Kimberly Johnson, who has both exquisite taste in men, but shook the GNC tree, because we'd been in touch with Jamie Harrison's office, and I know that Kimberly, that they DM'd her as well, but we just keep saying that we have got... I think there are a few of us, Bob, you included, that understand the urgency of what is happening in 2022 and 2024. So, you know, I don't know how else to say it, because we've all, you know, you and I and Eric Bowler, we can have the conversations all day long about the media being unfair, but we have to do something about it, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And I'm so proud of her, because she really illustrated the ask not what your country can do for you kind of thing, where she decided to go, hey, over here, we've got a problem, and you guys need to pay attention to this problem, and we need to solve this problem now, because the midterms are growing larger and larger in the windshield, and you know, we don't really have everything arranged properly with our messaging. And Jamie Harrison, I think, is doing a fine job in terms of setting the stage and prepping for all of that.
Yeah.
It's just now, you know, plugging in the Mad Libs and figuring out what works and what resonates and what builds the energy. Most importantly, what builds the energy for people to get out and start registering voters. And because to me, it's all about numbers. It's all about increasing the total number of Democratic voters who voted in the next election. And we can outnumber them. It's possible.
And as you and I keep saying, we should be single issue voters, democracy. Mm-hmm. That's it.
Yeah.
You know, don't forget your precious.
That's the major thing.
Whatever your precious is, forget it. Whatever your other issue is.
Yeah, I hate to say it, because, you know, we all have issues that are important to us, and these are valid concerns and things that we do need to address. But right now, it seems like the priority has to be blocking this rise of fascism here. And it's not just fascism, it's fascist idiocracy. There's a dumbness layer to all of it.
Yeah.
And we see it illustrated with the latest round of gun-toting holiday cards and holiday photos from members of Congress and so on. It's just...
they're trying to outdo each other. Lauren Boebert's like, the Boeberts got your 6, and they're all like, it's the whole Boebert family with the giant guns. It just, but no ammo for you. I'm like, oh my God, it's like a stupid contest on their side.
When did this become virtuous, to take your picture with these ridiculous, like, massive military
tiny kids with guns bigger than they are. It's,
I mean, it used to be that sort of thing was on the same level as, like, you know, big tobacco and you know what I mean? Like the entire alcohol industry. These were always the dangerous sin industries, right?
Chris is mocking us very immaturely by doing the Billy Bass thing. Like, we are the most easily owned libs in America.
They do it to own the libs. That's the only reason.
Bob and I are owned. We don't care.
No doubt. Yeah, you know, I try not to, because, you know, they're rodeo clowns. Lauren Boebert, Marjorie Taylor Greene, what their whole role, Louis Gohmert's another one, their whole role is to clang pots and pans together and say, look at me, look at me.
Yes.
Don't pay any attention to what Mitch McConnell's doing. Pay attention over here, the completely inconsequential people whose entire job it is to distract us from.
And they learn from Donald Trump, as you used to always say. Like, what's distracting from? I mean, as you said, hence the Rodeo Clown Caucus presser about the treatment of insurrectionists, because you were retweeting. Boom! AT&T turns over cell phone data to the January 6th committee, and Marjorie Taylor Greene isn't happy. So here comes the evil clown car, and look over here. I mean,
great example.
Yeah, she what did she say? Oh, she suggested people who rioted on January 6th are facing discrimination because of the color of their skin. Yes, Louis Gohmert, Matt Gaetz, and Paul Gosar were also at the clown show. Right, they're being discriminated against because they're pasty white, Bob.
All those poor white people. Man, when is the man going to get his boot off the neck of the advantageous, privileged white people? Oh my God.
Okay. I read the same thing you did. I know you said on Twitter and on your show that you said the GOP accidentally praising Biden's record on the border. Ronna McDaniel accidentally praising Biden's record on the border. Either they're talking about the number of illegal immigrants apprehended or drugs, and you're like, and this is a bad thing? Biden, I'm confused, right? You're like, wait, they caught all the border, and that's bad how?
This is one of those things that I can't leave alone because it's so confounding. Why on earth the GOP account, Ronna McDaniel, Chuck Grassley, Elise Stefanik, they've all been tweeting about these massive record-breaking accomplishments on the border by the Biden administration. I mean, I think Chuck Grassley said something to the effect of the amount of fentanyl that was seized on the border by the Biden administration would otherwise have killed 2 billion people, something like that. Chuck Grassley actually tweeted that.
Yeah.
And I don't understand what their point is. I guess they're trying to spin that as bad news for Joe Biden, that 192,000 pounds of all this methamphetamine were seized, and this is bad news for Joe Biden. I don't get that. That's unequivocally an accomplishment.
I mean, Bob,
for border security.
As I just said to Jamie Harrison, right? Indicators hint the supply crisis is over. Inflation will cool soon. Are the headlines? Oh, gas prices are coming down. Yeah. I'm sure they'll credit Joe Biden for that. Just like, I mean, it's. I think they are scrambling for what they're. I mean, as we were talking about, your insulin costs $1,000 a month now. Under Democrats, it'll be $35. How do you? I mean, these are real things that people can understand, and they're running against boogity cheese, critical race theory, or something. Go ahead.
There's strife in the office of Kamala Harris. That's the news story.
She uses wired headphones.
Yeah, as you said, inflation's coming down, the supply chain crisis is easing.
Yes.
All of this stuff is we're doing really well as far as the economy goes. As I mentioned, all of the record accomplishments on the border as another example. So just in time, let's make a big deal out of what's happening, the inter-office turmoil of the vice president's office.
By the way, security experts are like, she's right. She's right about the security of Bluetooth. And okay, anyway. Yes, Volatile Mermaid said the Kamala Harris Bluetooth scandal is just further evidence that it was never but her emails. It was always but their females. Thank you.
That's right. I asked the question, do they understand? Does the press understand that by picking apart these non-scandal scandals that they're finding, either the Kamala Harris stories or whatever they're saying about Joe Biden.
Joe Biden ate dinner without a mask.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Something like that. That they're inviting the rise of this, fascist regime again. And the first people that fascist regime will start black bagging and arresting are members of the press, the enemies of the people, as they call them. So this is something that I feel like the press, in a certain way, and I'm not saying the entire press, but certain factions of the press, they're kind of writing their own prison sentence at this point, despite the fact that they're seemingly criticizing the Biden administration. It's not going to matter when Donald Trump comes back. If he comes back, they're going to be arrested. They're going to be black bagged and arrested. This is the first thing autocracies always do. We saw it with Erdogan. Erdogan did mass arrests in Turkey.
Yeah.
This is the style, and I think
it was the style at the time.
It's the style of the time. Onions on your belt. But that's right from the playbook. They're looking. Donald Trump's going to be looking for dissidents, people who helped to manufacture the quote unquote stolen election in 2020, and he's looking for heads. And the press is going to be the first set of heads.